Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about how I learned to stop worrying and love modernization. It's a topic that has come up lately as different countries start to modernize. There's a lot of reporting about it that maybe should be put into context. There's modernization occurring in a lot of major powers. And generally speaking, it gets framed in a very scary way, and maybe it shouldn't. Okay, so we are talking about the modernization of nuclear arsenals. Russia's engaging in it, the US is engaging in it, China's engaging in it. Each country pretends like the other country's doing it is a really bad thing, but secretly they're really happy that they are. And the United Kingdom provided us with an example of why. Before we get into this, just to start off with, this occurred like a year ago. We're just now finding out about it, though. So, part of the UK's nuclear deterrent is having, I think the doctrine says, one Vanguard class sub at sea at all times with nuclear weapons on board. Okay? And that's where our story starts, with that piece of information. Now, the official comment on this is basically something happened, it was concerning, the system caught it, everything's fine now, no more questions. Okay? That's the official line. Some of the reporting and rumor mill says that one of the Vanguard class subs was out doing, Vanguard class sub stuff, hiding and trying to remain undetected. And, things didn't go well. There is a depth gauge on these subs. On Vanguard class, there is at least two. One is where those in command of the sub can see it. That one, broke. It stopped working. And the sub began to approach, let's just call it unsafe depths. Another one of the gauges is in engineering. Now, the rumor mill says that basically an engineer looked over, saw the depth they were at, quickly changed their pants, and contacted those in command of the sub to alter what was going on. Some of the reporting says that they went to crush depth. They did not, and we know that because it still exists. But the reporting suggested it was getting pretty close to that. And if you don't know what that means, just think Titanic sub. Same thing. Only this one has 130, 140 people on board and nuclear weapons. The Vanguard class subs, they've been in use about 30 years. So obviously, it is, bad to lose a sub with nuclear weapons on it and a whole bunch of people. But that's just looking at that immediate event. Think about the tensions that would be raised if part of the UK's nuclear deterrent disappeared and nobody knew why. A lot of phone calls, right? A lot of phone calls. A lot of tension. So when you see reporting talking about Russia or China modernizing their strategic arsenals, keeping their triad functioning, just understand it's not necessarily a bad thing. Yes, ideally, no country would have nukes. They're bad. We shouldn't have them as a species. Agreed. But as long as they're out there, it would be best if they were, maintained in a safe and orderly fashion. Because if one of theirs disappears, they don't know why, that would also raise a lot of tension. It creates a scenario where something bad could happen when there's literally no reason for it to. So when you hear about this, don't let those people who get paid by scaring you make nuclear weapons even scarier than they already are. You know, there's like an intrinsic amount of fear that exists with these things. The fact that other countries are modernizing is not necessarily bad. It might be something that keeps you safe as well, because these arsenals are about deterrence. They're about deterrence when it comes to other major powers. That deterrence stops wars. There should be better ways to do that, but until they come along, the system that exists, the weapons that are out there, they have to be functioning. They have to be safe. They have to be where they're supposed to be, and not just randomly disappearing and potentially causing a lot of issues. I hope that that engineer, got a promotion, a medal, something for potentially saving, 130, 140 lives on the sub, and then, the whole removal of those tensions. It's just something to keep in mind, because as China seeks parity and Russia modernizes, there's inevitably going to be a lot of fear-mongering about it. Advancements, sure, you can be a little bit nervous about that. But when it comes to just modernizing the stuff, it is as good for you as it is for them. Okay? Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.